Good afternoon, friends. This is Aradhna and Raja Saba bringing to you the HungerMitao program. Along with updates on food insecurity in the North Texas area and across the country, we also share with you information on how the Indian American community is unifying to emerge as a big part of the solution to fight hunger in America.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Fanasia and Nilam Dave, for hosting us during the Community Roundup Hour. Friends, through this show, you will not only get updates on the hunger issue in the USA, but also know all the ways in which each one of us, in the spirit of give where you live, is and can continue to make a difference. We can indeed ensure no one around us goes hungry.
So listeners, you want to learn more about how this volunteer movement is unifying the impact of the Indian American community? Visit HungerMitao.org. Here you will find information and links to all the activities and locations and chapters of HungerMitao across the USA.
And of course, locally, they can go to ntfb.org/HungerMitao to find out the latest and greatest about what's happening here in North Texas.
That's right.
Aradhna, we are now totally immersed into the holiday season in the US. Beautiful lights and Christmas and winter decorations are up all over the place. Here in Plano, the famous lights tour of the Deerfield subdivision has started. We were there last night. Wasn't that fun?
Yeah.
With our granddaughter who is visiting us from San Francisco. It was gorgeous.
It really was. And the horse carriage rides were so fun. But Raj, I was also at a couple of grocery stores yesterday. And for once, I saw and understood what they mean by the impact of the supply chain crisis and inflation.
Do tell.
You know the thing I would love to share with the listeners? I actually saw a quarter of a watermelon that was cut and priced at $12.99.
Wait a second. That means a whole watermelon would cost north of $50?
That's right. Can you believe that?
Oh my gosh.
To make things worse, off my list, I could not find 50% of the items I was looking for. Even simple things, and this was really surprising, even simple things like plain yogurt, flour, and oil. They were either out of them, and for some things that were there, I noticed the price has increased substantially.
Wow.
And I couldn't help but think this is going to get extremely difficult for a lot of families to buy their groceries.
Inflation does hit the pocketbook.
Yeah.
And especially during this pandemic, things that are gone bad are getting worse. You are so right, Aradhna. Even food banks are feeling the pinch. Here at North Texas Food Bank, Trisha Cunningham, our CEO here, she said that the Food for Kids program is one of the most expensive programs they have, as they have to purchase most of the food that goes into the backpack bags so that it is nutritionally balanced and yet kid-friendly. These costs have increased even more with the recent supply chain issues that have raised food prices, as you indicated, all over. Donating these items by the case so that they don't have to be sorted, date checked, etc., which is labor intensive, would be a great way for all of us to give back this holiday season. Maybe your family, your neighborhood, your organization, your faith group could consider helping to provide for the hungry kiddos. You will get a tax-deductible receipt directly from the food bank when you drop them off. You can see the list of the needed items on our Facebook group, which, as you know, it is HungerMitao_North Texas. So listeners, if you plan to do a food drive this holiday, please review the list of items that the food bank needs and collect them and drop it off at the food bank. They and we will certainly appreciate that.
And Raj, we've had so many food drives going on within the community this holiday season.
Yes.
I would like to take this opportunity to thank everybody for your efforts, for leading a food drive or contributing to one. These help us feed and keep North Texas community strong.
That's right.
In fact, NBC 5 News gave primetime coverage to HungerMitao recently. In collaboration with Seva Diwali and 80 local organizations,
Talk about unity.
the Indian American community recently provided over 110,000 meals
Wow.
in North Texas and Tarrant area between Diwali and Thanksgiving weekend. Way to celebrate a holiday. We truly unified to amplify our impact.
Wow, such wonderful spirit. Amazing how community members and associations are stepping up to make a difference. And yet, how humble they all are. Aradhana, every one of them, in spite of the donation that they made or the food drive they have conducted, have come back and said to us, we wish we could do more. They display a spirit of giving back, an attitude of helping others, and a firm realization that all of us are but a vehicle to do good. Aradhana, I am reminded of this stanza from Anup Jalota's bhajan song. देनहार कोई और है भेजत जो दिन रैन लोग भरम हम पर करे तासो नीचे नैन लोग भरम हम पर करे तासो नीचे नैन.
रहीम कृष्ण भक्त थे. उनके स्वभाव के बारे में एक बात बहुत कम लोग जानते हैं कि रहीम स्वभाव से बड़े महान दानी थे. बहुत से दानी हुए हैं, रहीम जैसा दानी नहीं हुआ, क्योंकि विशेषता थी दान करने के लिए जैसे जैसे वो अपने हाथ उठाते थे तो अपनी आंखें नीचे झुका लेते थे. लोगों को बड़ा आश्चर्य होता था, ये रहीम कैसा दान करते हैं. दान भी करते हैं और इन्हें शर्म भी आती है दान करने में, निगाहें झुका लेते हैं. इस बात की चर्चा हुई, गोस्वामी तुलसीदास जी तक बात पहुंची. उन्होंने सुना, मन ही मन मुस्कुराए और 2 पंक्तियां लिखकर रहीम के पास भेजी. ऐसी देनी देन जू, ऐसी देनी देन जू कित सीखे हो सैन जो जो कर ऊंचो करो त्यों त्यों नीचे नैन जो जो कर ऊंचो करो त्यों त्यों नीचे नैन. रहीम ने पढ़ा, समझ गए गोस्वामी तुलसीदास जी तो अंतर्यामी हैं, उन्हें क्या नहीं मालूम, शायद मुझसे कहलाना चाहते हैं. 2 पंक्तियां उन्होंने भी नीचे लिख दी कि प्रभु आपने पूछा है, ऐसी देनी देन जू कित सीखे हो सहन जो जो कर ऊंचो करो त्यों त्यों नीचे ने. तो निवेदन किया है, देनहार कोई और है, देनहार कोई और है भेजत जो दिन रैन लोग भरम हम पर करें तासो नीचे नैन लोग भरम हम पर करें तासो नीचे नैन. तुलसी इस संसार में सबसे मिलिए धाए ना जाने किस रूप में नारायण मिल जाए, ना जाने किस रूप में नारायण मिल जाए, नारायण मिल जाए, नारायण मिल जाए।
Friends, last week Aradhna and I visited Metrocrest Services, one of the large pantries that North Texas Food Bank supports. We met with CEO Tracy Eubanks and COO Nicole Binkley and interviewed them to better understand the relationship between food bank and the pantries, and more specifically, what exactly does the pantry do? Here is an excerpt from that interview. We are fortunate here because we have the CEO and the COO of Metrocrest Services with us, and they can tell us a little bit more about the organization and how they help the community. So we have here Tracy Eubanks, who is the CEO of Metrocrest Services, and Nicole Binkley, who is the Chief Operating Officer of Metrocrest Services. Thank you very much and welcome to the show.
No, thank you for having us.
Wonderful, wonderful. So for the benefit of our listeners, do give us a little background, a little overview of what exactly is Metrocrest Services, what all you do, and how does it fit within the North Texas Food Bank system?
Sure, great, thank you. Thanks for having us. So Metrocrest Services has been around for 50 years. This is our 50th anniversary. We essentially serve the communities of Carrollton, Farmers Branch, Addison, Coppell, and a portion of the city of Dallas. And we have a kind of a holistic approach to helping our neighbors in need, and these are typically, literally, our neighbors. One is helping with the crisis. People come to us because they can't pay the rent, they don't have food, the lights have been turned off. It could be a family with kids, it could be a senior. We want to make sure that we take care of that particular crisis. But we also want to look at how can we help with self-sufficiency and independence. What else could we do to assist you so you don't have to ask for help again? People really don't want to have to ask for help. We want to help them become independent. And we do that through financial literacy and education programs. We have a director of financial empowerment that helps people with budgets and spending plans, etc.
That's fantastic.
And then we also have a workforce division helping with jobs, education, and training. So that's kind of the overview of what we do. And during the pandemic, of course, we've been quite busy.
Okay.
Yeah, I can imagine. Nicole, the impact of the pandemic, like Tracy said, you felt it. Do you still see the impact going on, or has it stopped? What's happened?
I think that it has slowed down over the last 6 months, but really the new normal, if we're still saying new normal, but the new normal is that we're still seeing about double the amount of clients that we saw pre-pandemic. Yeah. So in our food pantry, we're seeing about a 50% increase where we used to see 40 families in the food pantry. Now we're seeing about 125 to 150 families a day, compared to, on the rental side. Right now we're providing about $180,000 in direct aid for our families to not be evicted from their apartments and to stay in their lodging. Wow. So across the board, we have seen a really large increase, but then we've also just seen the need continue. The clients that we see, really their economic status is going to be the last to change. I think that for a lot of us, maybe the pandemic has slowed down a little bit, but I think that for the most vulnerable in our community, it's going to take a little bit longer, especially as we look at, our senior population. Because of inflation right now, they're really having a hard time paying their rent. All their costs have gone up, but of course their revenue hasn't. So we're seeing a lot of kind of niche, unique circumstances for some of our vulnerable clients that we're trying to make sure that their needs get met.
Well, Nicole, this is our first visit to Metrocrest Services. And as we were walking through the building, through your warehouse, through the pantry, I couldn't help but observe that you are using every square inch of this building. I mean, it is bursting at the seams. I mean, clearly the demand has gone up, right, because of the pandemic. And you are utilizing this space very optimally, but it is where you need new space. What are you doing about it?
The good thing is that even before the pandemic, we had started talking about launching a capital campaign for a new building. We want to quit renting. We want to own our own building so we're more sustainable. We celebrated our 50th anniversary this year, and so we really wanted to do that by launching a capital campaign. The pandemic set us back about 6 months, but the exciting part is that we've launched our Building Our Future capital campaign. We're raising $15.8 million to build a 48,000 square feet building, which will not only give us the room that we need to help our families right now, but it'll give us some room to grow. So hopefully we're there for the next 50 years.
Fantastic, fantastic. So the capital campaign is well underway, I assume?
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful.
All the best with that. We live in a very, very generous community, so I'm very optimistic about you meeting that goal quickly. For our listeners who are always looking for opportunities to help, what would you say are areas that you need them most? This question is to both of you.
Sure. Yeah. Certainly, we always need volunteers. You notice when you walk through that we rely heavily on volunteers. Our volunteers have kind of kept us open during the pandemic when a lot of nonprofits had to close because of lack of volunteers. So always need volunteers. We have a lot going on during the holidays. You can go to metrocrestservices.org and click on the volunteer tab and set up a profile if you want to learn more. And set up a time for you, your family, your group to volunteer. Always need volunteers. And we certainly are looking, as Nicole said, for support with our capital campaign. We're going to raise $15.8 million. We're about 60-something% of the way there right now.
Wonderful.
And you can go to learn more about the project and to donate if you choose to. What is our website, Nicole?
msbuildingourfuture.org.
msbuildingourfuture.org. And learn more. Great pictures there as well as progress toward our goal. We certainly would appreciate the support.
Thank you. Thank you, Tracy, and thank you, Nicole. And I know you are like a crown jewel in North Texas Food Bank's feeding network. Really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much.
Thank you indeed. And I know that our listeners would love for an opportunity to come out, visit, roll up their sleeves, open up their checkbooks, and help Metrocrest Services as you are helping the communities which are struggling. And I love your model, the fact that you're not only feeding the line, you're also finding ways through wraparound services to shorten the line. So thank you very much, Tracy and Nicole. I really appreciate this.
Thank you.
Several people have connected with us and said, well, they want to volunteer between now and Christmas and there's no availability. Yes, friends. Everybody wants to volunteer between now and Christmas. And so North Texas Food Bank has been very fortunate to have their volunteering needs filled until Christmas. But come January, there will be a need again. So, let's plan on a volunteer shift in January.
Definitely. Throughout this holiday season, please take time to collect a few jars of peanut butter or other shelf-stable food to donate to the North Texas Food Bank.
Or look at that
List.
Food for Kids program list. And because we know that is something that is sorely needed by North Texas Food Bank.
That's right. Reach out to us if your organization wants to arrange for a food or funds drive. Let's unify to make this holiday season one where everyone has access to nutritious food. You can reach our team through ntfb.org/HungerMitao.
Friends, as you all know, HungerMitao was launched with this vision in mind, that through engaging in one concerted effort of fighting hunger in America, the Indian American community would engage with their local food banks through volunteering, raising awareness, food and funds drive, etc. And because HungerMitao is a concerted effort, we can then tell the story of our united efforts.
And the impact. And our collective efforts are creating a buzz. It is very heartwarming and inspiring that the Indian American community is so engaged in helping food banks provide people access to nutritious food. We have become a force, my friend. The collaboration and unification are working, and the results are visible. Listeners, if you have just 1 hour to spare each week, just 1 hour, and would like to become an activist in the fight against hunger, come join us. Be a part of the HungerMitao Steering Council for an extremely rewarding experience. Drop us a line through ntfb.org/HungerMitao.
And as we close our program today, we want to thank all of you for your generosity and for caring about others around you, for volunteering, for helping organize awareness events, for running food drives, and for making donations. And thank you, Fanasia, for becoming the mouthpiece for HungerMitao. I also want to say, have a blessed holiday time with all your family. Of course, we'll come back to you every week. But I did want to say, start off the holidays with a lot of joy.
Yes, it is a challenging time with the pandemic. The Omicron variant has thrown a wrench in the recovery, but there is still a lot of positive that surrounds us.
And I hope a lot of people get to go see their families.
Yes, certainly hope so. Our mission, friends, is HungerMitao. And HungerMitao is as much about eradicating hunger as it is about unifying the fragmented efforts of our community and focusing it on the humanitarian cause of hunger. Let us come together as the entire Indian American community and show how we engage in any place we call home. We are smart, compassionate change agents who give where we live so our community benefits from our presence.
And until next week, friends, remember, while we may never be able to eradicate hunger, let us ensure no one goes hungry.
So actually, at this point, Aradhna, we have a surprise. Somebody from San Francisco who would like to say HungerMitao. Let's get her on the... HungerMitao!
HungerMitao.
कहाँ तक ये मन को अंधेरे चलेंगे, उदासी भरे दिन कभी तो ढलेंगे। कहाँ तक ये मन को अंधेरे चलेंगे, उदासी भरे दिन कभी तो ढलेंगे। कभी सुख कभी दुख यही जिंदगी है। ये पतझड़ का मौसम घड़ी दो घड़ी है। ये पतझड़ का मौसम घड़ी दो घड़ी है। नए फूल कल फिर नगर में खिलेंगे, उदासी भरे दिन कभी तो ढलेंगे। भले तेज कितना हवा का हो झोंका, मगर अपने मन में तू रखिए भरोसा। मगर अपने मन में तू रखिए भरोसा। जो बिछड़े सफर में तुझे फिर मिलेंगे, उदासी भरे दिन कभी तो ढलेंगे। कहे कोई कुछ भी मगर सच यही है। लहर प्यार की जो कहीं उठ रही है। लहर प्यार की जो कहीं उठ रही है। उसे एक दिन तो किनारे मिलेंगे, उदासी भरे दिन कभी तो ढलेंगे। कहाँ तक ये मन को अंधेरे चलेंगे, उदासी भरे दिन कभी तो ढलेंगे।